Why do I believe Cardano is going to $15 or more? Now, if you've been in crypto for over 4 years, you have probably noticed some big patterns. If you are newer to crypto, welcome. It is great to have you here. And since the market has been trading sideways and yet you are here, congratulations. You are very smart, lucky, or perhaps both. As to the title of this, why is ADA king? Well, it isn't yet. But there are things fundamentally different about ADA that could make it the most powerful blockchain in just a year or two. Today, let's discuss exactly that and why I believe Cardano will hit over $15 this cycle. Welcome to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Rain. If you like money and you like crypto and you're looking for a real investor take on the crypto market, join the Rainmaker family. You can do that as simply as liking this video and subscribing with the all notifications bell enabled. I'm not a financial advisor. I am a crypto investor myself. And note, I do own or plan to own most of what I talk about on this channel because I don't talk about crypto projects I don't believe in. Special thanks to our Patreon members. We do have a private Discord there. Our Patreon members get access to. Make it rain on that like button and strap in for the show. Our producer will be joining us. Let's welcome our producer, D Money.
Hey, what up, Jay? How's it going today, man?
Great. So we're going to this shorter videos with recorded content. And so this will be our fourth video with this adaptation like this.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with it. It should, we'll see. But I think that some quick hitters are always good. And I love talking about Cardano. So yeah, I'm stoked for this one.
Perfect. So yeah, there'll be more targeted videos with more of them coming so that you can watch exactly the content you're liking when you subscribe to this channel. Now, ADA has been in a retracement from its highs that went temporarily upwards of $3.30. Some of the charts don't reflect it, but I was watching closely and it did hit over 330. Now, why did it go through such a big retracement? And what makes me so sure that it will do $15 or higher? Now is exactly the time for that discussion, especially with its price pretty low right now. Question number one, that's the question to you, like to buy high or do you like to buy low? Well, in order to buy low, you have to understand what will happen with the price of something before it happens. How is it that we can understand what will happen to the price of something before it happens? Since we don't know the future, we have to make guesses. And if you are smart, you take the time to look deeper so you can make educated guesses. Isn't that exactly why you're here watching a video like this? You're doing your educational research to make educated guesses. Now, for massive gains, we look to buy low so that we can sell high. So is Cardano's price low or high right now? Compared to its previous price, it's quite low. It's down around 65% from its previous highs, but not as cheap as it was just a few weeks ago. It's hard to tell in the short term if it'll go cheaper again or more expensive. My guess is more expensive in the short term, but in the medium term, my guess is it will go much, much more expensive, as high as $15 and more. So let's get into why. There are two reasons. First, I believe fundamentally Cardano is doing some things massively correct in the foundation of ADA that makes it so it has a chance to be one of the best long-term blockchains. Many of the current contender blockchains, we call them third generation blockchains. If you think about it, Bitcoin was the first generation blockchain, but its transactions per second were only 7 transactions per second. ETH was the second generation blockchain, but still hitting a transaction speed of 15 transactions per second, which was twice as fast as Bitcoin and could handle more data than Bitcoin could, and some additional things like smart contracts. But we know that ETH blockchain is not sufficient for what we need. And there were a lot of third generation blockchains coming in, competing to be the winner or get the most use. Some of them are Solana, Polkadot, Avalanche, Phantom, and they all have some very interesting things about them and are attracting tons of development. My question about them is, what is their plan to get to 1 million or more transactions per second? But you may be thinking, Rain, why do we need 1 million transactions per second? Right now, 65,000 transactions per second by Solana makes it one of the fastest current blockchains in major use, which is true. But how does that handle mass adoption? Not well at all. Much more speed is needed for bigger things to be possible. With ADA, Charles Hoskinson took a difficult approach from the onset. He worked on ways to solve some big problems before even starting work on the code for ADA. In the university, the computer science class I took, this was a step that each professor said was critical. The step to architect out your code before even starting the actual writing. I didn't always follow this, but when I did, my program was better, cleaner, and way less bugs. As we talk about the foundational code that might possibly run much of the known world, it is important that we architect, or that the architecture is clean, solid, and can handle the massive weight of millions of transactions per second, or it'll be like trying to build a skyscraper, or it will be like trying to build a skyscraper on top of the foundation built to hold a 5-story building. Isn't that what we have been feeling with ETH these past few years? Now, when diagramming out the architecture, Charles Hoskinson also planned out the Hydra architecture to allow nodes to be able to handle up to 1,000 transactions per second per node. That isn't a lot until you start adding more and more nodes. With 1,000 nodes, you will have 1 million transactions per second. With 2,000 nodes, you will have 2 million transactions per second. That is the speed needed to handle the massive growth needed for a blockchain to be able to handle massive games out there, as well as business solutions and other things needed on these 3rd-generation blockchains. Makes sense, doesn't it? So, Rain, you may be thinking, what is the second reason you believe our Cardano is going to hit $15 or higher? As I like to call it, the rain is coming. Now, what do I mean by that? If you've been around since February or March of last year, you have noticed that crypto hit a massive growth phase where millions more came into crypto. This created massive price growth. Through blockchain and crypto technology, though it tends to get wider and wider adoption, price growth tends to run in quick, massive spurts, followed by a larger retracement. Now, ADA was trading at just under 2 cents not very long ago. Back in 2020, can you believe it? 2 years ago, it was trading at under 2 cents. Then it spurted up to 17 cents, and then to 60 cents, then to $1.40, and then to over $3. Each of these runs were followed by retracements and a cool-off period. ADA and the broader crypto market have been in a retracement and what I call sideways trading for 7 months now. Retracements are like pulling a rubber band back, allowing momentum to build up. This means that when it does break loose, it actually goes farther and faster. So let's take a look at the Fibonacci retracement pattern from where it is run and what it will possibly extend to. Now we're looking at TradingView here, and we're looking at the Cardano chart. Notice where we're at right now. We are right at this massive resistance level. We broke through this previous resistance level. If we were to put a line in here, and then let's make it dotted because that means it got broken. Okay. There we go. So it broke through this, and it broke through massively. Now it's testing this resistance. And in the short term, I don't know whether it's going to break down or break above this. What I am looking at is the longer term. And let me share with you. See, just back in 2020, Cardano was so cheap. And this chart on Binance doesn't go back prior to this. But if we went back into March, it's trading under 2 cents. Notice where the price has been recently. Now, you can't rewind time and get back into in 2020. You can only make decisions going forward. But let me ask you, do you like to buy high or do you like to buy low? Now, if you're lucky, you might get another bite at the apple if you're looking at getting into Cardano and it comes down, it breaks down from this resistance. But let's take a look at where it might go in the near future, or what I call medium term. So this is what's called the Fibonacci retracement, and this is no guarantee where things happen. But what's interesting is that charting actually, or trading, often respects these lines. If you look back where it retraced to right at the 78.6 level here. Then it's been trading right at where this resistance is from the top of its previous run. right? So the Fibonacci retracement also includes some things called the Fibonacci extension numbers. And if you look at where the extension numbers go to on the upper side, it's right close to $15, just under. Now, I think as the rains come, some massive things are going to happen. It's going to go up to that level and possibly exceed it by a little bit. And that's why I think it's going to go to $15. But I know many of you who are new at trading in this, and you haven't been in space long term. It can take a long time, or seemingly a long time, for these things to happen. Now, if you think about it, if you were around 2 years ago in 2020, right around this time, you could have been buying Cardano at right around 2 cents. Is 2 years a long time to wait for it to go from 2 cents to above $1? Feels like a long time, right? But in stocks, is that a long time? Not at all. And so I do know that because of the emotional weight we usually put behind things, that things seem to take a long time, where in retrospect, compared to everything else, it's not very long at all. So it does require some patience to do well in this space. Now, if ADA is going to hit $15, the bigger question in your mind is really, will ADA hit $15 or higher? I believe so. The next question really is when, right? I believe it'll take longer than you want it to, but sooner than many crypto YouTube pundits think. My guess is July. Now, how can I be so confident? I'm less confident in the date than I am in the trajectory of Cardano. No one knows what dates these things will actually happen. I've been an investor for 25 years now. Often the timing of these things is much harder to guess than the trajectory. But if you watch my past videos where I go over the dominoes that are stacking up, you will see that things appear to be lining up for a massive crypto run, which is what I call the rain. And the rain is coming. And when it does, ADA will have incredible gains again. Now, I don't always, and sometimes don't often, agree with the people on other YouTube channels. I'm an investor myself, and I went from thousands to millions in the past 3 years in crypto. If you're looking for a different take than what you get anywhere else, consider subscribing. If you like this different point of view, would you make it rain on that like button? Dee, do you have any questions, anything that came to your mind before we wrap up? We got you muted.
I mean, the one thing that I was thinking about is with the Fibonacci extension model, like,
Yeah.
what is the general time period for something like that? Is it just, you just kind of don't know?
Unfortunately for us, there is no guarantee on timeline, and the Fibonacci doesn't really give us an indication on what kind of timelines we're looking at. Fortunately, these things aren't known. And there's a reason I say fortunately. If everything was known, fair to say that all the big boys and the massive funds would be placing these bets. There would be no chances for massive gains. And the reason there's a chance for massive gains is these things aren't known for sure. They're risks. The reason I like these risks much better than I like gambling is gambling on average, the house wins and you lose. What I like about technology investments in a technology sector that is massively growing like blockchain is that on average, your average bet can do well during the right time frames. And what I like to do is I buy when things are down and that people are complaining about everything. And then I sell when a lot of people start to catch the vision and things come together and people can see how well it's coming together. And then the price massively pumps, and that's when I take profits. And it's funny that it's as simple as that. I call it a contrarian approach. Now, I want to thank you for joining us this week. We still normally will be doing live streams on Friday. This Friday, I'm taking my wife on a vacation. I'm getting a little bit of a break. I've been hitting it hard for the past number of months and just want to get a little bit freshened up because I do think these next few months are going to be amazing. And watch the video on the dominoes stacking up because I lay out all the different dominoes coming together that will likely cause a massive run in Bitcoin, which will spread to the whole bigger market. And it's why I believe the rain is coming in the next number of months. And I placed my positions accordingly. And so see if you follow that case and if it makes sense to you. Thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't already, make it rain on that like button. And we will see you all next time. Remember, no rain, no gain.
Came into the space, chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, shit, right before you could, was told to buy when it was pouring like a rain, make it should.